My name's Ryder Florin, R-Y-D-E-R-F-L-O-R-I-N. And a lot of people are worried in this area because of the experience last year from Hurricane Irene, where it came so unexpectedly. A lot of the people around here also don't know much of what else they can do to prepare for the flood because of how touch and go it is at the moment. The people who stay in flood areas after last year, some of them have moved on, some of them are just moving stuff upstairs in order to avoid more property loss.
Yeah, are you yourself concerned about this one?
I myself am concerned for the community. My personal settings at my house are fine, but lesson learned, and you start doing things a different way to avoid catastrophe down the road.
Yeah. And the general consensus around here, are people, do you think people are prepared?
Not as well as we would hope, but as prepared as most people know. Unfortunately, education is a touch and go in a community setting because some people don't expect that it's ever going to get bad. Some people over-prepare and start trying to sandbag or something. But as a community, especially after last year, we're strong. There's already emergency services set up for, say, evacuation, or schools have set aside certain provisions, water and everything, for the community should we get flooded again.
Bill Adam.
And tell me a little bit about where I am right now.
Right now you're in Howard Beach. This is the Old Mill Yacht Club. And this is the first time we've had one since 1991 like this.
Right.
And this is the worst. This is worse than that. Because right now we've got 3 more hours to go before the tide is all the way up. And with this southeast wind, it's going to push the water up even more. Last year, when Irene went there, those meters were underwater and we had white caps. They'll be gone.
This is the highest one.
What are you guys doing to prepare for this?
This is the highest one.
No, all we can do, we boarded up a lot of stuff, my boats like that, but it's so high that we don't know what's going to happen with our docks. The parking lot will be flooded, everything.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll count down from 3. 3, 2, 1. I'm here underneath the Throgs Neck Bridge at Willard's Point in Queens, New York, on the northern side. And you can see the flooding has already begun. Large waves sweeping in through here, and definitely, Sandy's making itself felt. A lot of people in here are taking pictures, but it's a dangerous area to be in. We're only going to see the water begin to rise more and more. The Weather Network, North Robinson from Queens, New York. I'm standing just beside the Throgs Neck Bridge on the Bayside Street here at Willard's Point. And this is flooding considerably. I'm actually up to my knees in water right now. And this is at high tide at this point of the day, but Sandy is still far out to sea, so later on tonight when the high tide comes again, this whole area is likely going under quite a bit more water. It's been a wild day so far, and it's only just beginning. For the Weather Network in New York City, I'm meteorologist and storm hunter Mark Robinson. I'm standing here at Willard's Point, and I'm standing in the street, and the water is up to my knees. Now, I'm here at the north shore of Long Island right now, where the surge is coming in and flooding. Serious flooding is beginning to occur. You can see the street behind me. It's got quite a bit of water on it. In fact, it's up to my knees down here. You can actually see that. Sandy is really beginning to make itself felt here at the north shore of Long Island. You can see the flooding behind me. In fact, I'm up to my knees in water right now. Now this is the first high tide, and the surge isn't all that big. The secondary high tide, which comes later on tonight when the surge is much higher, this whole area is likely to flood out far more. Sandy is definitely coming into New York City and making a huge mess. For the Star.com, I'm meteorologist Mark Robinson. I can't believe this is a street. Definitely. Right behind me, you can see these houses are definitely in the flood zone. They're actually beginning to flood already. The waves are coming in, the winds are coming in, and the water is in their front yard. The houses are definitely going to be in a bit of trouble later on. I think I better get moving. Things are starting to come apart a bit here. Now this is definitely some of the craziest winds I've been in New York City. And Sandy is still really far offshore. It's not made landfall yet, but the ocean behind me is getting very, very angry. For the Weather Network, I'm Mark Robinson, Rockaway Beach, New York. I'm here in Rockaway Beach, Long Island, New York, and behind me the sea is getting very, very angry. You can see the waves here are absolutely massive. And this is in huge contrast to Hurricane Irene last year, at which point the waves never came up this far. Sandy is driving massive waves into this area, expecting major surge in the next few hours down here, Rockaway Beach and Broad Channel, New York. For the Weather Network, I'm meteorologist and storm hunter Mark Robinson. Standing just outside of Broad Channel right now. Tried to get over the bridge over here, but they've cut it off completely, so we can't get over to Broad Channel, where we were supposed to meet up with a family that's riding out the storm. We have heard from them. They're okay. They're likely going to be safe. They've actually left their home and moved up to one of the shelters over there. We're going to try and get a hold of them later, but flooding is already getting quite bad, as you can see behind us, so it looks like we may have to move back to the house very soon, or we're going to get cut off. For the Weather Network, I'm Mark Robinson in New York City. Conditions are definitely deteriorating in Sandy right now. Behind me you can see the flooded roads, the fire trucks, police cars. Things are getting a little hairy. The wind is picking up and I'm starting to hear that hurricane roar that I get in a lot of the really strong hurricanes. Sandy's beginning to make landfall now, and we're going to continue to see this rain ramping up and changing direction as Sandy makes landfall right over top of us. For the Weather Network, I'm Mark Robinson, meteorologist in New York City. Wait, I'm just outside of Broad Channel, and I'm starting to get that hurricane roar as Sandy's beginning to come on shore. You can see fire trucks passing us, police cars. It's getting quite wild down in this area. We actually have to be a little bit careful because we've got power lines above us, and they're starting to come down. We've seen a few of them already breaking and sparking. So we're definitely in an area. Gotta be careful. For the Weather Network, I'm meteorologist and storm hunter Mark Robinson. The surge is moving in here very quickly, just north of Broadway. And you can see the surge behind me. That's a street that's very rapidly filling up with water. Actually, in the last about half an hour, we've seen it move from down around where those lights are to here. So it's moving in very quickly. We're probably going to have to move out of the area simply because this surge is going to cut us off very soon. Winds are howling, not too much rain. Sandy has arrived here in New York City. I'm meteorologist Mark Robinson for the Weather Network.